So, hello, and thank you so much for joining us today at our webinar, AI and the Modern Web, Smarter Sites, Better Experiences. I'm Eugenia Viti, you can call me AO, and I'll be introducing the webinar today. Um, this session is going to be hosted and presented by the wonderful Rod Martin. He's a highly regarded trainer and an expert in all things Drupal. So we're excited, and a really good hockey player, as we were discussing before the call. Uh, and so he's going to be taking you through some awesome AI features that can be added to your site, how to use them, how to get started inside of them, and why we love them. And before we get started, just a couple housekeeping notes. You'll see some polls happening throughout the webinar. I think we have two. We definitely encourage everyone to participate. I think it's very simple. Just click on what answer that you would, they're all like multiple choice. You just click on the answer. Um, Also, we have a Q&A chat. So if you have any questions, drop them in there, and then we will likely get them to them at the end of the webinar. If we run out of time, we can always follow up with you. And lastly, this session is being recorded, so we'll be following up with everyone with the link. And so without further ado, Rod.
All right, well, welcome and thanks for coming today. My name is Rod Martin. We're going to, as was mentioned, AI and the modern web. A little bit about me before we get started. I've been using Drupal since 2005, teaching Drupal since 2011. DrupalCon Chicago was the first time I taught Drupal. I've introduced around 50,000 people to Drupal through online training, lots of video, DrupalCons, Drupal camps. I'll be in Chattanooga in a few weeks and then Providence, Rhode Island right after that. So come on out if you're around. Online video, YouTube, LinkedIn Learning, OS Training, Acquia, and then of course, a lot of training with ProMetSource, and I'm so delighted to be associated with them. I'm just finishing up a massive project, moving 30 Joomla sites into Drupal. So I don't just teach Drupal, I actually build in Drupal. So hopefully I can bring something to the table today. As well, I've been involved with Drupal AI since before it was well before it was version 1. I've got a ton of videos on it on YouTube. I've been writing about it and using it on my own sites. I don't know, quite frankly, if there's anything that comes close to the impact that AI is going to have, not only just on the web in general, but certainly in Drupal. Drupal's leading the way in AI. Here's what we're going to cover as we go through our day today. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to Drupal AI, and then we'll do a quick poll. The bulk of today is making AI part of your everyday workflow, and we're going to talk about what it means to integrate AI. Now, I know you might be with a government agency, you might be with an enterprise, and they're telling you, we're not integrating anything anytime soon. Well, don't worry. We're going to give you some, I think, good steps to think about what might come next and what's possible, even if you just wanted to get AI introduced in a small way. Then we'll have another quick poll after that. Provus powered content landing page chatbot. This thing is unbelievable. We're going to open up a chatbot, provide an instruction to it, and it's going to create a fully fledged landing page based on the prompt that we give it. This works not just with Drupal AI, but it's part of what we call Provus, ProMetSource's landing page builder and drag and drop editor. It's really powerful. And so we've combined those two things together to make your landing page creation a breeze. And then lastly, we're going to talk about a new product called Civic AI Navigator. This is amazing, and it's truly a revolutionary chatbot. And chatbot seems like a very small term to call this. We'll talk about it when we get there. And of course, as was mentioned, we're going to do some question and answers at the end. So throw your questions into the question box, and we'll see what we can do about getting them answered. All right, well, let's talk about Drupal AI in general. I've got a couple of links on the screen. The Starshot initiatives page that you see there, that's just the overview of all things Drupal AI in the Drupal AI initiative. And it looks something like this. So it's got all the links and things. And again, you'll be able to grab that off the video or grab that off the screen. The other link is just as important. It's the AI promotion page at Drupal.org. Now, I'll be the first to admit that some of the things on that page, they don't work yet. Just saying, just letting you know, some of those things aren't quite ready, but my goodness, it's coming close. The AI module itself is at Drupal, drupal.org/project/AI. And this is where you'll go to get all of the information about the AI module. A new version was just released this week. It's a beta version, beta 1.2 dev, not beta, sorry, the development version. This is probably one of the highest priorities in the Drupal community right now. In fact, I think it's even superseding some of what Starshot or Drupal CMS is supposed to be doing, alongside of Canvas, which is the layout builder that has kind of been put on the back shelf just a little bit because of the importance of the AI module in Drupal. So I'd encourage you to visit this page. It's a really well done page. There's lots here that you can learn from it. And we're actually going to demonstrate a lot of this today as we go. Before we do continue, I want to introduce you to our demo site today. And this is, I'm going to give you a link at the end of the day where you can spin this up for yourself and explore it and use it and have fun with it. It's called Meridian County, but it's a Provus demo site. I want to just take a minute to head over to the Extend menu and show you what we've got installed as far as the AI module goes. Now, if you're brand new to AI, some of this is not going to make a lot of sense. But again, I hope that it's kind of helpful towards the end. Let me see if I can blow that up just a little bit. That's pretty small. There we go. All right. So we haven't turned everything on here, but we have turned on AI Automators. I will tell you, when you spin up a demo, this is not turned on by default. I'll mention why later as we demonstrate it. AI's CK editor integration, you'll see how that works. Content suggestions, core is obviously the core module. Logging, SEO analyzer are turned on. We did not turn on the summarized documents and things like that. AI search requires search API. We're not using that today. And honestly, one of the problems with the AI search module at this point is site visitors can't use it. The chatbot doesn't work for anonymous users, which is pretty frustrating. There is going to be a fix to that coming out in the next version, so that's going to be great. But don't worry, you don't need it because Civic AI Navigator is so far superior to that. You'll need an open AI provider or an LLM provider of your choice. And then lastly, we've turned on AI image alt text, which is just so much fun. So those are the modules for AI we've turned on, as well as the key module, which is required to put your LLM key in. We've provided one for you in this demo. Now, it's not endless, of course. The demo lasts 3 days, but you'll have enough tokens in there to certainly explore what we want to do. All right, so with that quick introduction, let's head over and do a quick poll.
Awesome. Thanks, Rod. So I'm going to start the poll now, and I will read it out to you all. I think you should all be seeing it here. What's your biggest challenge with AI? And go ahead and click on what is your biggest challenge. So lack of data quality, cost or resources, talent or expertise, trust, ethic concerns, or change management. I'm seeing a lot of people concerned with trust and ethics, as well as change management. Those are some of the big ones.
Interesting.
And I'm also seeing that most people are participating, so that's awesome. We've got about 75% has participated already. Um, so this is great. It's good to know some of the biggest challenges that you're all facing today with AI. Trust and ethics is the biggest.
Mm.
All right, I'm gonna end the poll and share results.
Interesting. Okay. By the way, I did a full day session on this at Drupal GovCon in August with Amazy. And if you didn't know, there is a bias in LLM. They all have bias. ChatGPT is interesting when it comes to the bias that it displays. And if you're interested in that, you can certainly ask a question and I'll explain what I mean by that towards the end. So thanks for voting. That's super helpful. Uh, Really interesting. Yeah, change management is always a big one. Well, let's talk about making AI part of your everyday workflow. One of the things I know I'm doing every day, I use ChatGPT and Gemini now pretty much all day, every day for a variety of tasks. I have agents that go out and do things for me on a daily basis. I consult with it. I've created my own custom GPTs for certain things that I do, including I've got a wicked one for Drupal module development that actually is really, really good. But you can do all of these things, except wouldn't it be nice to be able to do a lot of that right within Drupal? So if you're a content editor or a site builder, one of the promises of the AI module is that you don't have to go out to these other resources anymore. A lot of what you want to do is going to be in Drupal. So we're going to cover the following topics: content enhancement, summaries, translations, SEO, and accessibility. We're not going to demo all of that, but we're at least going to address it. Brand voice consistency is probably, in my mind at least, the number one issue when you have multiple editors in a large enterprise or a large agency. How do you keep the voice consistent? AI is going to be really helpful for that. AI generated metadata for search results. We've got a custom module for that, or a contributed module for that. Automatic alt text for images. I can't tell you how much time this saves me. Wait till you see it. And then we're going to dive into the area of actual automations within the Drupal AI module, where we've created a couple of fields that automate social posts, the content for social post generation. And then we'll finish up with some content creation. So I'm going to head over to the website here for the next little bit. And I'm going to click on content. Hopefully, if you're a Drupal person, you know, none of this will be too out of the realm of recognition for you. We're obviously using the Gin administration theme. I'm reading a book right now on George Patton. I've read tons of books on George Patton. I'm a bit of a World War II nut. So I created a node called George Patton and the Battle of the Bulge: Leadership, Logistics, and Legacy. The book I'm reading right now is all about that time period during Second World War. And so let's just take a quick peek at the actual node itself. It is not formatted well, no image, and it is at the it's at a college level, university level, the text. So we've got quite a bit of content enhancement and fixing that we can do here. One of the great things about Drupal AI is that it's literally, all of that is literally built in. So I'm going to click edit. And this should, again, be typical, pretty familiar to you if you've used Drupal at all. We have turned on the CK editor module and dragged it into the full HTML text format. And so you see the AI assistant right here. Let me get my face out of the way for just a minute. Over here on the right, we also have some AI tools. One of the things that's changing, ever changing in Drupal AI right now is it's constantly being enhanced, reworked, and retooled. So there are some duplicates here, and I did that on purpose to let you see that you have options. Secondly, there's some things on the right-hand side that aren't available in CK Editor. There's some things in CK Editor that aren't available for the right-hand side. Those are just configuration issues, and you'll see as we go. All right, the first thing then we're going to cover is formatting. This is not semantically correct. This is just a bunch of paragraph tags with bolded headings. So I'm going to select all, go to my AI assistant, and click Reformat HTML. One of the key things that is of always great concern, and the poll showed it, is the ethics of HTML, Drupal AI, or any AI for that matter, where we don't always have a human in the loop. Well, That is a huge priority here for Drupal. And so a human is always in the loop. Let me just do one quick thing here. I'm going to switch that to basic HTML to get all of the other gobbledygook out of there, and then switch back to full. You don't need to do this, but it just makes for a little bit better output. So by reformatting the HTML, then we're going to get proper semantic layout. So I'm going to click reformat, and it's going to take just a few seconds, but it's going to write it out in the window below. This happens on all of the ones that come out of CK Editor, which means, guess what? I don't have to commit to anything until I look through here and confirm that it's actually correct. So let me look up here at the top, and I'll find out the introduction isn't an H2 like I thought it would be. It's probably some kind of HTML. So I'm just going to change that to a heading 2. I'm going to scroll down here. It looks like it combined most of my paragraphs. So I could just quickly come in here and, throw some paragraph tags back in just by clicking enter. You know how that works in Drupal, I'm sure. Again, just fixing this up just a little bit. And when I'm ready, I can then commit this to the editor. And there we are. We now have a compliant semantic layout for our content, and that's terrific. Summarize is also part of what Drupal AI can do. So one of the ways I use this is to grab articles from the web and just throw it into the body field, highlight it all, and then click summarize. Now we're not actually going to do this because I don't want to lose my content right now, but I'm going to click summarize, and it's going to again put it down in this secondary window where I can then read it through, commit it if I want, or abandon it if I want as well. If I had thrown in a much larger article that was very, very complex, very long, this is again what Drupal AI can do for you. It takes just a moment, and there we are. So it's been simplified all the way through and shortened considerably to provide a summary. One of the modules we didn't turn on is the ability to summarize a PDF or a file. That's also available. All right, let's talk about brand voice. To me, this is probably the best part of what Drupal does. Now, brand voice works with a taxonomy system. So you go to structure, taxonomy, set up a brand or a voice or a tone vocabulary, and add terms that would define the tone of voice or the brand voice you want to use. To find that out is actually pretty simple. Just open up ChatGPT or Google LLM and throw a bunch of documents in there, let it do its thing, and then ask for the prompt that would create a brand voice based on what you've provided. It's actually quite accurate. I did this for my own blog, and it's kind of scary how good it is. So for this exercise, I'm just going to choose the first paragraph so we can see how it changes. You can see that the language here is pretty formal. In the midst of chaos and uncertainty, General George S. Patton emerged as one of the defining figures of the campaign, yada, yada, yada. All right, I'm going to click on AI Assistant and click on Tone this time. Now, just for fun, I threw in a tone for David Attenborough. Now, I didn't just say, change this to the way David Attenborough would talk. I went to ChatGPT and I said, I need a brand voice for David Attenborough. I fed it in a whole bunch of parameters, and it gave me a brand voice that's probably 3 paragraphs long, which is in the body of that term inside the tone vocabulary. I'm going to click change the tone. And once again, you're going to see it being written in real time and then ready to be committed to the editor. But just take a quick look at the difference. The second paragraph now starts, amidst the swirling maelstrom of chaos and uncertainty, emerged the formidable figure of General George S. Patton, a name that would resonate through the annals of history. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to use that. And so that's immediately updated as well. Brand voice is something you absolutely can use right out of the box with Drupal AI. It's built in and it appears right here inside of the CK editor. So this article is actually quite difficult to read. It's written at a university level, probably a second or third year university level, and we all know that that doesn't quite work when it comes to the internet. Over on the right-hand side, we have several here that we're going to now highlight. I'm going to click on Evaluate Readability. I'm going to select the body field and click Score Readability. This takes just a moment. It's a 33.9. It's very difficult to read and best understood by university graduates. That's exactly what I wanted. Well, guess what we can do? We can select all, come back over to our AI assistant and modify with a prompt. Now, I have a prompt here that is based on getting the text to a 7th grade reading level. I won't bore you with the prompt, but it's basically shorten the sentences, everyday vocabulary without losing accuracy. That's super important, by the way. Dates, names, places, and key events intact. Maintain the same section titles. Write in a neutral educational tone. Avoid slang, plain language. Replace complex words with simpler alternatives. Click Modify Text. Once again, a human is still in the loop here. It's not going to automatically do anything for me that I don't want done. I can edit this even as soon as it's generated. I can come in here and change it if I don't like what it did, and or completely abandon it and come back and try again right from here with a modified prompt. One of the things, of course, that the federal government is pretty big on is the plain text or plain language movement. I shouldn't call it a movement, the Plain Language Act, and you can incorporate some of that into your prompt as well. All right, I'm going to save changes to the editor because, and we're going to rerun the readability. All right, so score readability. Now, this isn't going to work 100%, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. Let's see what it comes up with. So now it's telling us that it's still at a college level education, which is really interesting. If I ran that prompt through ChatGPT, it would tell me unequivocally that it's a 7th to 9th grade reading level. So this one you take with a slight grain of salt, or you keep working on your prompt until it's better. I've tried a number of different prompts over the last week to get this a little bit better. But as you can see, the sentences are shorter. So it followed the prompt. And what I found was that it typically is at least 2 or 3 grade levels above what ChatGPT would say. So again, I know it's working because it does work when you confirm it in other language learning models, large language models, but it's a little bit quirky here, is what I found. So as with anything in AI, confirm, believe but verify, trust but verify. That's a good idea. I will say, most of the time, I've gotten, like I said, about 2 grade levels above what I wanted. So, yeah, take that with a grain of salt. All right, let's talk about tags and titles. If you use the tagging widget in Drupal, you'll know that this is a kind of widget that can be used with an open taxonomy, i.e. I can throw anything I want in there, or a closed taxonomy where I've defined the tags that I want to be allowed to use and content editors can't add new ones. The nice thing with Drupal AI, it has both variants built in. So I'm going to come down here and click on Suggest Taxonomy Tags. And if I had a vocabulary where my terms or categories or tags were housed, I could click that on and it would use that closed taxonomy system, which personally I think is always a better way to go. However, I will say this, AI is really good at this. I'm going to click Suggest Taxonomy Terms, and it's going to give me leadership strategy, World War II, patent, and resilience. Those are pretty good terms that I can now copy and just paste into my tags. There is no button yet to automatically insert them into the correct field. That's coming. Remember, this is the worst it'll ever be. I heard that statement about the new image thing from Google. What's it, Nano Banana? This is the worst it's ever going to be, and I got to tell you, it's pretty freaking awesome. So it's going to get better. For now, we just have to copy and paste. Another one here is the idea of suggesting your title. So once again, I'm going to click in the body field and click Suggest Title. And once again, this is actually pretty good. So Patton's Battle of the Bulge, Leadership, Lessons, and Legacy. Let's see what I had at the top. I had George S. Patton, General George S. Patton, The Battle of the Bulge, Leadership, Logistics, and Legacy. You know what? That new one is shorter and probably a better descriptor. So I'm going to use it. Again, of course, human in the loop. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. All right. We all worry about search engine optimization and Google search results pages. Typically, up till now, you would have entered something in the summary, and that's what Google search engine would pick up. And if you had the meta tag module installed, it's kind of automated. But quite frankly, again, it's hit and miss unless you do something here and manually update this. Now, node title and site name, that's pretty good, but the node summary, if you don't put anything in here, it's just going to take the first paragraph. Not adequate at all. Permit Source has a contributed module called Metatag AI. And when you're using the Gin theme, it's up here under the 3 dots. If you're using Claro, which is the theme that comes with Drupal 10 and 11, then it would be listed here as a button. So either way, it's right there. So watch what happens when I click this. There we go. The entire meta tag module is now updated with real text that the Metatag AI module brought out of the content. So I've got a good page title. Obviously, that's the same title that's there. A good description. Again, that's a great short description of this article. And then a quick abstract here, again, just a little bit longer. And then, of course, keywords. We all know Google doesn't use keywords anymore, but Bing does, as do other search engines. So it's important to continue to use keywords for your SEO. So those 4 boxes alone would take you, a number of minutes to adequately fill in. AI can do it for you literally in a couple of seconds and give you, honestly, better results. All right, we are marching right along here. Let's talk about automatic alt text for images. Again, this is one of my favorites in the AI module, because let's face it, folks, how many of you really think through your alt text? And how many of you do a decent job of it? Now, if you're a government employee, you probably do a better job of it than the average enterprise employee, or content editor, I guess I should say. But I know on my blog and on my own websites, and even for some of my customer websites, I'm terrible at it. So it's embarrassing to admit. Let's fix that right now. I'm going to come over here and click Add Media. And I've prepared an image that is appropriate here. I'm going to choose File and head over to my personal folder and grab General George Patton at Bastogne. Now watch what happens. Oh, by the way, AI generated that image. And look at this, black and white photo of a stern military officer in uniform and helmet. So it didn't recognize George Patton, even though this is an actual image of George Patton. But again, human in the loop. I can easily change that to a black and white photo of General George S. Patton, and that would be fine. What I have found with things like product photography, and I'll show you that in just a minute, it's much, much better. If I don't like it, I can click the Generate with AI button again. But if I do, again, all I've got to do here is click Save, and my alternative text is adequate, fantastic, and I can insert that into the article with no problem at all. So that is pretty darn cool. By the way, one thing I haven't covered, which is kind of obvious, is that, of course, you can generate content from scratch. I'm just going to click and save on this article for just a moment. And here's what it looks like. Now, this is a template override in our Provus demo site. So that's why you're seeing the image off over here and heading to tags quite large and things like that, and all the social icons and stuff like that. But if I go over here to content, add content, and click blog again, well, the AI assistant can generate text with whatever prompt I want to give it. And by the way, this particular version is using ChatGPT 4.1. So ChatGPT 5 is not available in Drupal AI yet. I would imagine it's coming with the new development version, but regardless, you can choose whatever LLM you want to use with Drupal AI. It's not just ChatGPT. But if I give it a good prompt, it's going to create the content here. Once again, put it in the text editing window where I can edit it here before I commit it to the editor, and then again, continuing to edit it there. So you have some tremendous value. All right. I want to show you one more thing. I'm going to go back to my general patent article. Down here at the bottom, I have two fields, a LinkedIn post and a Twitter post, or X, whatever you want to call it. I didn't type this in. This is automatically generated by Drupal AI and creates properly formatted LinkedIn post and properly formatted Twitter posts. In fact, with this one, it even gives me options. This one gives me a bold and opinionated version, as well as an educational or insightful version. This is what AI automators do inside of your Drupal website. And this can be used for literally anything. Automatically updating fields based on previous field content. It can be used for something like this. Can I create LinkedIn posts that I can then just copy and paste over to LinkedIn? Things like that. But again, human in the loop. So I'm going to quickly show you how to set one of these up, because the rest of it's actually pretty simple. You turn it on and it works. This is a little bit more complex. So I'm going to head over to my content, my structure, content types, and this time I'm just going to go to the news content type and click Manage Fields. I'm going to add a new field, and I'm just going to do the LinkedIn example here. Formatted text, continue. We'll call this linked news LinkedIn post. Formatted long, continue. So far, really standard, right? Here's where the magic happens. Down at the bottom, you're going to turn on Enable AI Automator. This sets the field up to become subject to the AI prompt that we're going to create. So that choose the AI Automator type, we're going to choose LLM Text Simple. That's usually the one that works the best for just text fields. We're going to change base mode to advanced mode so we can use tokens. And then we need a prompt. So let me grab the prompt and I'll show it to you. So this prompt says summarize the node : body, that's the token for the body field, and transform it into a compelling LinkedIn post. Goal is a professional, authentic, and high-performing post. The requirements: the tone should be professional, approachable, confident, and encouraging. 150 words to 200 words. The structure should have a hook, a core insight, and a call to action. The formatting: use line breaks, occasional bold text, avoid hashtags. Do not use Markdown. Style guide: write in first person, avoid buzzwords, be authentic, clear, and human. Optional enhancements: suggest a short, bold headline suitable for the top of the post. You'll see how that works. And then finally, include a link to the node at the bottom with the token node : URL. And you'll see here, you can browse available tokens just like you can anywhere else in Drupal. Next, what happens if the article body changes? Do I want to update this text? Yes, I do. So I'm going to edit when changed. It only edits it when something changes in the body field. Clicking on Advanced Settings we have to set up how this is going to work. So the Automator widget is got a weight to it. You know what weight is in Drupal. It's when it's run. So 100 means it's going to be run at the end of the save process. It's going to be direct, i.e. straight away, and we're just going to do it. We're not going to use batches or cron for this particular one. We want to see it right away. We're going to leave it at the default advanced JSON model. You can use a structured response model, vision model, or even OpenAI or whatever LLM you're using. I find the JSON model to be the best for the output in this case. We'll change the output to JSON as well. And then we'll use the advanced HTML text format. Now, this is a text format that's specific to Provus, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. Nothing fancy there. It's just a different text format. I'm going to click Save Settings. And that's it. The field will appear in the field Manage Form display at the bottom. I'm going to go to Manage Display and remove it because that kind of gets confusing. So let's drag that out of the display for the particular content type. And I'm going to go ahead and add a new piece of content in the news section. So we're just going to call this Rod's News. Give it a date because we have to, it's required. And we don't need an expiration date. We'll put it in the employee news section. And we'll use AI Assistant, generate with AI here. Pretty simple prompt. Create a news article about making sure you clock out online before the end of the day. I know that's not super great, but not a big deal. Now, it's going to get rid of all the doc type and stuff. You don't have to worry about that. Save changes to the editor. Again, human in the loop, right? So now I'm going to come down and there's my news LinkedIn post. I'm going to click Save and edit. Save again. That's new. It hadn't been, the URL hadn't been created yet. I think that's the problem. So there we go. All right. There's my LinkedIn post. So let me copy that, head over to my LinkedIn page. I'm not really going to post this because that would be kind of weird, but just paste it in. You have a properly formatted LinkedIn post with a headline that you can now obviously remove or update. You can obviously update this before you click post, and the link is at the bottom. And that's why I had to do it twice, because the URL hadn't been created yet. We could just leave that out and it wouldn't be a problem. Easy peasy. In what, less than 6 minutes, we created a field that provided a LinkedIn post, automated, beautiful, formatted, ready to go with the link to the node already set with a proper introduction, call to action, and more. Just that simple. Automations in Drupal are just starting. This is probably one of the more simple illustrations of it. Let your mind go crazy. If you have fields that need to be updated, the old way of doing it was the rules module in Drupal 7 or the ECA module in Drupal 10 and some machinations around it. It's really hard. AI module, no problem. You can even do calculations in a field like this via Twig. So if you had the Twig output for individual fields above, provided those fields were filled in when you click Save, you could do calculations in here as well. It's really, really remarkable. All right, so quickly going back to our overview, making AI part of your everyday workflow. Content enhancement. Yes, it can do translations. I'm in the middle of working on a 43 language Drupal site right now. I can vouch for the fact AI does translations really well. So much better than Google Translate ever could before, and it's incredibly accurate. Search engine optimization, there is a search engine optimization module included uh, in the demo that you can play with, and obviously accessibility improvements, brand voice consistency, AI generated metadata, automatic alt text for images, field automations, content creation. Again, we're just seeing the beginning of it. It's only going to get better. All right, time for another poll.
Awesome. Thanks, Rod. And so now we're going to quiz you on everything you've learned so far, including the history. Just kidding. Let's go back to the next poll. And I'm launching it here. Oh, I gotta stop sharing poll one. Launch poll two. All right. If you could automate one task tomorrow, what would it be? So would you automate customer service, data entry and reporting, scheduling and planning, quality assurance, or something else? About 50% participation right now. And most people are going with data entry and reporting is one of the ones we would love to automate tomorrow, one of the tasks.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Awesome. And then followed closely by scheduling and planning and quality assurance. Quality assurance is second.
Yeah, that's always the interesting part of using any kind of AI tool. The quality assurance is a again, you always have to check the results, but having AI check your work, well, it can do that very well.
Nice. Yes. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to be ending the poll, and we do see one question in the QA that we plan to still
Yep.
answer towards the end. So just know that we do see it, and we will hopefully get to it if we have time. Rod said he's got an answer, and we had a technical person also take a look at the question. So thank you for your question, and feel free to add any more if you have any come up during this call.
Okay. I'm going to demonstrate something that is unique to Provus. Provus is Promote Source's advanced layout builder. Now, before you get all worried about it's not Drupal, it is Drupal. Provus is 100% Drupal component based, and it is awesome. What Provus brings to the table is the advanced layout capabilities. So, bottom line, here it is. If you've seen Acquia Site Studio, if you've been wishing that Layout Builder would fulfill all of its promises that it's been doing for years. If you thought Starshot would give us Experience Builder, which is now Canvas, if you thought that was coming this year, yeah, that's not happening. Provus fills the gap incredibly well. It's more than just a landing page builder. It's literally a full-blown government or education-based system that you can use that can be utilized for your website. Built into Provus now is this chatbot that builds landing pages for us on the fly in real time. So we're going to go take a look at it. I'm going to head over to my site and I'm going to click on the chat icon down here. Let me get my face out of the way, sorry. And I'm going to grab the prompt that we're going to use for this. It's a really long prompt. You have up to 2,000 characters that you can put in this prompt. Basically, what I'm going to ask it to do is to build a landing page for a full day Drupal AI training that we provided at GovCon 2025. So I'm just going to paste that in. And I know you can't see it, but it's going to come up here. Here's the actual prompt. You can always reread it and edit it. And then once again, are you sure? Yes, I want you to go ahead and create it. Now, somebody time this. Let me get my face. Somebody time this, because I will tell you right now, building landing pages, no matter what the tool is, takes forever. Are you ready? Here we go. Create. Ten seconds. 10 seconds to create this. Drupal AI full day training. It's got a call to action button where it should be, the training objectives that were provided, and then the outline of the actual sessions, another call to action, and a testimonial. Now, I got to tell you, even with Provus, to start from scratch, that's 30 minutes of work, 10 seconds. It chooses appropriate images from your media library. You can even define the image you want to choose. I will say this: it's like anything else in AI. It's still a work in progress. This might have been better in, say, um, a horizontal tab system. So let me just quickly show you what that would look like. I've been playing around with this for a bit now. So there's the horizontal tab system, and literally now it is a breeze to update this page. At the top, you have a build button, and this is true drag and drop editing. I can drag GovCon 2025 and put it down below. I can drag this register button and put it down next to training objectives. I can literally drag this into a different section. I can quickly and easily update it. Each section is its own little thing. I can literally edit. I can add video, images, documents, more text. I can literally do anything I want in these blocks. I can duplicate them for quick and simple editing, or I can remove them. I can also literally rearrange it just like that. I can also change the formatting from a stacked to a grid, 2, 3, a column row. I can put the icon on the left, icon on the right, icon top. That's magic, folks. Also, I can update the schedule. I can click on this icon here, click configure, and each of those horizontal tabs is its own block. Once again, I can duplicate, edit, move them around. I wouldn't want to because it's time based on this one, but there you go. You could if you wanted. Now, let me reiterate, Provus is built on Drupal standard components. There is nothing in here that's not technically contributed. Now, is it highly configured? Oh, it really is. I mean, having a box that looks like this isn't coming out of Layout Builder out of the box, I can tell you that. So we've got the administrative title, the full name, the testimonial content, their role and position, the media image. These are just fields in a component, right? Single directory component. And then again, what kind of layout do you want? These components are fully Drupal compatible. They're well, Drupal contributed, Drupal core, and Provus will give these to you right out of the box. I got to tell you, I've been using Provus now for a couple of years. It's remarkable, and it really is as easy as that to create a landing page and then to go in and modify it, maybe change out the image, change out the text, update it in minutes instead of days. This is what Provus brings to the table. When I say it is a huge site building time saver, yeah, I'm not kidding. Between the chatbot, what you just saw, and the editing experience, it's really great. All right, finally, because we're quickly running out of time, Civic AI Navigator. I'm going to share just a couple of things about it, and then I'm going to ask Andy to step in and just kind of explain. Civic AI Navigator is a very, very advanced chatbot. It is not Drupal dependent. You can insert this on any site you have. WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, you name it, it can work on it. It gives you contextual responses. It has a very, very nice conversational tone to it. It's accessible. It's highly customizable. You get 5 chatbots out of the box at the base level that you can then put on different areas of your site and configure them for different purposes. Let's say you've got a library. You can just set a chatbot up specifically for the library section of your site with all the content and all of the context that that provides. An intranet, same thing. You've got 5 of them right out of the box. It's incredibly easy to integrate, highly configurable. There are multiple LLMs that you can use. at once with Civic AI Navigator. It really is great. Let me stop and turn it back over to Andy.
Yeah, sure. Uh, so just a Civic AI Navigator built specifically for government and higher ed. It has really low rate of hallucinations, so we took everything, all of those possibilities out. It has a lot of the additional features that normal chatbots that are out there. There's more and more coming up every day. So they're specific for our target audience here. So FOIA requests, it has the ability to pull those out there. So certain of our agencies have requirements to store that information, communication with constituents. It has the ability to store that. It has the ability to hand it off to a live person. So there's live chat involved with that as well. It has the ability to communicate via text. It has the ability to communicate via voice, so you can call into it. And a lot of features are expanding. But let's take it to Q&A, Rod. I think,
Okay.
and by the way, if you sign up for a Provus demo, that chatbot is going to be there. It's helpful in terms of answering questions about what is Provus Gov, how to use Drupal AI, and questions about itself and the site itself.
All right. I'd strongly encourage you to check that out. And I don't even get a kickback on this one. I strongly encourage you to check it out. It really is amazing on how it works, both Provus Assistant and the AI Navigator. All right, one of the questions we got was the issue of the alt text. So let me revisit that for just a minute. If I go over to media and we look at that picture, the question was, oh, there it is. Yeah, the question was, does the alt text generator find the text in an image? And the answer typically is yes, it does. It didn't here. And I think part of the reason was there's just so much text in here. By the way, we're using focal point, scale, and crop here. Fantastic tool. You'll also notice in this particular image, it didn't even recognize George Patton. I have used this on pictures of our AI generated pictures of, say, Albert Einstein, and it didn't recognize him. When I uploaded a real picture of Albert Einstein, it did. And this is an AI generated image, by the way. So hard to know. But let me show you to answer that question. I was born in Australia, so I'm going to add an image here, and we'll see what happens. I love Vegemite. Vegemite is an Australian sandwich spread that is vile to most Americans. This is a Gemini nano banana image of me from a picture I was in a t-shirt in my backyard. But you'll see that this alt text picked up smiling man holding a jar of Vegemite in an office setting. And check out the jar of Vegemite. That's the jar of Vegemite. Again, AI generated. I didn't hold up a jar of Vegemite. So yes, it will pick up the text in certain images. I think when there's too much text, it may not do that. And shouldn't the text be included in the alt tag for ADA compliancy? I don't know if that's true or not. I think certain parts of the text should have been, but this is where you keep a human in the loop. If the generator didn't generate something that you felt was appropriate, well, this is editable. I can edit this and say Rod Martin holding a jar of Vegemite in an office setting. The key thing here is it recognized I'm smiling, I'm in an office, I'm holding a jar of Vegemite. And that's a completely AI generated image, which is pretty darn cool. I hope that is helpful. So, okay, Andy
And
has, yeah, go ahead.
just to comment on that further, it's generally not recommended to have an image with text in it. So we chose a poor example here to close that question, Julie.
All right. I think we've answered all the other questions right in the chat. So, um, yeah, let me take us back to the slide and then we can finish this up. So if you want to try this for yourself, and I highly recommend that you do, deploy.provusdemo.com. It takes literally less than a minute to spin up in general. It might take a little bit more if everybody hits it at the same time, but you'll click the button, you'll provide an email address, and within a minute or so, you'll get an email that the site has spun up. The username and password will be in the email, and you are a super administrator. You're you're not the super user. But you have an administration level account, and so you can literally try everything out. You can turn on the AI modules that we've turned on in Extra, and try them out for yourself. As well, for a bonus today, if anybody does, if the first 3 customers sign up to implement Drupal AI through ProMetSource, we'd love to give you a full year of LLM usage. That's a pretty big deal. Just go ahead and email Leslie@prometsource.com. Andy or anyone else want to finish this off and take us out?
Yep. So thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. I have here this email in case you are interested. Again, Leslie@prometsource.com. And we will be sending a follow-up with the recording and any other summary statements from this webinar. If you have any follow-up questions, if you already have an account manager with us, you can also reach out to them, or feel free to reach out to Leslie. And thank you so much again for everyone's attendance here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye. Have a wonderful day.
Bye bye. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.